I'm Randall Cooper from the Olympic Park Sports Medicine Centre.
And I'm Andrew Wine from Borland Sports and Physiotherapy Centre. And coming up are our top 10 injury prevention tips for skiing. Tip number 10 is checking bindings. Since bindings came out in the 70s, ski injuries have come down dramatically as a result. And the number one thing with bindings is that you need to, first of all, get them serviced regularly. Okay, so faulty bindings increases your risk of injury dramatically. After a big or heavy crash, you may have damaged your binding, you may not be sure, so you need to check it out each time. Either you can check this out yourself or get it checked by a technician. I would recommend at least once every season and maybe perhaps every 4 or 5 ski days. The other thing is the binding settings. So if the settings are too high, you're going to not release, and that's when injury usually occurs, particularly to the knees. So the latest evidence has shown us that binding settings can be reduced by as much as 10 to 15% to what they were 3 or 4 years ago. So again, get that checked by a professional, and again at the start of each season and every 4 or 5 ski days.
Our ninth tip is to wear a helmet. Helmets are really popular. I just got back from skiing over in America, and I would think that 9 out of 10 people wore a helmet over there, so they're certainly increasing in popularity. They are controversial though. Some of the studies have said that the helmets decrease the chance of getting minor head injuries, but serious head injuries remain about the same. So on overall balance, it's still worth wearing a helmet. Make sure you get it correctly fitted, because a loose helmet is annoying. A good helmet should fit snugly, and you should wear it, particularly when you're skiing difficult terrain.
Tip number 8 is improve your technique. Now, we all want to be better skiers, but we do know that beginners are at much higher risk of injury than advanced skiers. That being said, advanced skiers often have more serious injuries such as fractures and the like. So our tip here is to improve your technique and get better as soon as possible. And the best way to do this is to take a lesson. So as soon as you start skiing, or if you want to improve your ability, take a lesson with a qualified instructor. And most importantly, know your own ability and ski to within this ability.
Okay, now tip number 7 is no dangerous positions. There's a few positions you can get yourself into on skis that make you vulnerable to injury. The first position that I'd like to talk about, or the most dangerous activity, is taking air. If you jump or take air, that's when you might get injured. The other position worth noting is the back seat position. And this is something that you get into either when you're taking air and landing, or whether you're just skiing along and start to get in trouble. I'll just show you what this position is. Okay, so back seat basically means that you're about to sit down. You've got your weight on your heels, the ski tips are starting to come up. Then if you start to throw in a little bit of rotation at the same time, that's when you can have serious knee injuries, fractures. It depends on how fast you're going. The next tip, tip 6, we'll talk about how to get out of those dangerous positions. So that's coming up.
So tip number 6 is knowing how to fall. We just learned the dangerous position, that back seat position. And if you find yourself in that position, sitting back like this with the weight too far back, first thing is not to panic, okay? Second thing is keep the knees close together and fall to the side. Try and pull yourself back up when the weight's too far behind on the ski tail is much more likely to result in a serious knee injury. So tuck the knees in close, fall to the side.
Tip number 5 is ski to the conditions. Research suggests that fractures can occur in icier conditions, ligament injuries can occur in softer snow, and also there's a chance of getting injured in lower light conditions as well. Make sure you get familiar with the conditions and also the run before you start to ski aggressively. And also in the mountains, things can change quickly. The snow type can change quickly. It can go from icy to slushy very quickly, so make sure you're continually adjusting and paying attention to conditions on the slope.
Tip number 4 is knowing the skier code. Now you can find the skier code on the back of your lift ticket, or if not, search for it on the web. Without going into the detail of all aspects of the skier code, it's important that skiers know this and follow it. Perhaps the 3 points that I'm going to bring up that relate to injury are the following: knowing where to stop. Don't stop on the downside of a berm or somewhere where you can't be seen from the skiers coming down the slope, or a high-speed area. This is bound to end in injury. So if you do want to stop and take a break, make sure it's in a safe area and you're visible from uphill and off the side of the run. Second point is giving way to downhill skiers. This is an often confused point, but the downhill skier has the right of way. Okay, so making sure that you give them plenty of room is also important. Last point I'm going to make is Respect run closures. If a run is closed, it's usually closed for a reason and it's likely to be dangerous. So heading down that run is also going to increase your risk of injury.
Now, tip number 3 is watch out for fatigue. Fatigue can either be fatigue of the muscles, where they deplete in their energy stores, or fatigue of the central nervous system, where the impulses to the muscles just start to slow down a little bit as well. Fatigue is most likely to occur towards the end of the day, somewhere between about 2 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. This is known as last run syndrome. Okay, so if you feel yourself starting to get a bit tired again, this is the time to pull the pin. The other time when most people start to feel a bit fatigued, particularly when they're on holidays for a while, is about the 3rd day. We call this cumulative fatigue. So day after day, your body just starts to wear itself down. It's not a bad idea to take a rest somewhere in the middle of your week-long ski break. If you start getting tired and fatigued, that's the time to stop. It's also important that during the week you drink plenty of water and you also eat well too.
Tip number 2 is improve your fitness. Now, you'll certainly enjoy your skiing more if you're fitter and stronger, but we also know that this leads to a decrease in injuries. And there's lots of ways of getting fitter and stronger. Perhaps some of the most ski-specific ones are cycling, stair running, lifting some weights in the gym, or performing some sort of CrossFit type activity. Make sure that you choose something that works on your aerobic capacities, it gets your heart rate up, but also has an element of muscular strengthening, such as squats or things like that, that are going to lead to stronger legs and therefore less injuries.
And finally, this is our number 1 tip for ski injury prevention, and that tip is perform some injury prevention exercises. There's good evidence to suggest that doing some of these specific exercises can reduce the chance of you getting injured out on the slopes, especially with respect to knee injuries. These injury prevention exercises require a mixture of strength, balance and plyometric or jumping type of training. And in our next video, we've got Winter Olympian Katja Kremer to demonstrate our 5 top injury prevention exercises. Thanks for watching. Hi, I'm Randall Cooper from the Olympic Park Sports Medicine Centre.
And I'm Andrew Wine from Baldwin Sports and Physiotherapy Centre.
And these are our 5 top injury prevention exercises featuring Winter Olympian Katja Kremer.
Exercise number 5 is the arabesque squat. This exercise involves standing on one leg, tilting forward by pivoting through the hip and then performing a squat. The focus here is on the knee tracking out over the toe, a stable pelvis, and also maintaining that good tilt and not becoming upright. Exercise 4 is the single sit-down squat. You need a chair and some weight like a medicine ball. In this exercise, you stand on one leg, slowly lower yourself down to the chair, tap your bottom against the chair and rise again. The focus of this exercise is to perform the exercise slowly and also maintain good alignment. Exercise 3 is balancing on an unstable surface. A variety of equipment can be used, such as a wobble board, Bosu ball, or in this clip a Duradisc. Stand on the equipment on one leg, similar to how you'd stand on skis. Make sure you look forward. To make this exercise harder, you can throw a ball with a partner. Exercise number 2 is box drops. Find a box to drop off. We'd suggest 20 to 30 centimetres to start, progressing higher when you're ready. Step off the box landing on both feet. Allow both knees to bend and then quickly spring out. Land again in a good alignment. An advanced version of this exercise is to do it on one leg, but make sure you master the double leg version first. Our number 1 exercise is the dreaded scissor jumps. Start with your feet in a staggered stance and dip into a half split squat position. From this position, accelerate up, switch your legs over in the air and land again by absorbing through the hips and knees. Keep repeating this as your fitness allows.
Thanks for watching. We hope you learned something today.
And keep it safe on the slopes.